What's good, guys? Welcome into another video. My name is BiggiePopz. We're going to be doing another tier list video. We are going to do something which is quite relevant recently. It's going to be all the projects in Marvel's Phase 4, since Wakanda, Black Panther Wakanda has just come out. I went to see it on opening weekend. Today is what, the Wednesday of afterwards, so whenever this comes out. So we're gonna start off with this tier list. We're gonna have the best of the best category, which is gonna be like, honestly, what the good stuff in this category. There's a couple of good stuff in this, and then there's some, I don't know, throw in, we'll get to it. We've got a pretty good one. We've got could be better. So this is like the mid sort of thing, where it's like, it's all right, but it could have been better. There's some stuff that let it down, sort of thing. It doesn't mean they're bad. I don't think they're bad in this category, but it just means that it's something about it that could have been better. There's the I didn't watch it. Just there's a couple of these in here. Well, I say a couple. There's two which I didn't watch, and we'll get to that when we get to the projects. And then throw it in the bin. Thrown in the bin, thrown in the bin. Your CD gets thrown in the bin. It's just, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I don't think there's any projects that will get thrown in the bin. But yeah, we'll just see what happens. Okay, we'll start off with She-Hulk. Honestly, the most recent Disney Plus project that's come out, and I actually enjoyed it. I thought I'm actually gonna put it pretty good. I understand there was like all the hate ratings and stuff like that for this project, but honestly, it was pretty good. I didn't see the problem with it. It was quite meta. I enjoyed the ending, where people was like, "Oh, it's so dumb." They were fighting about a lawsuit and something like that. It literally explained at the first episode what you were gonna get. You were gonna get a lawyer show first, and then a superhero thing second. Yeah, that's it. They were arguing about the her name, which is actually one of those interesting things where it's a real life situation, and they brought it into the Marvel universe, and I kind of enjoyed that concept of, oh, someone could just copyright their name. What, like, that's such a good idea to me. Okay, the next project is Eternals. I didn't watch it. I don't plan to watch it anytime soon, just because don't get me wrong, the idea of it sounded pretty good, but it's just one of those things where, like, the idea sounded alright, but I just didn't get around to watching it, and if I'm honest, there's nothing really dragging me to go watch it anytime soon. Okay, so we've got What If next. I'm torn between putting it at the bottom of pretty good, or at the top of being could be better. Only because obviously it's the first season and stuff like that, and there were some iconic moments. I really liked the zombie episode. What was it? Star-Lord T'Challa was good. The first episode was what? Is it Peggy Carter's Captain America? I can't remember what they called. But that was just basically the same as Captain America, but slightly different. Which, don't get me wrong, it's fine. The Party 4 scene episode was a bit It felt very For Love and Thunder-ish. What else was there? I can barely remember half the episodes. It's just one of those things where I think the second season would be better. Obviously they had to cut episodes because of COVID, which is why we get like the weird Gamora episodes character in, and we don't get any of the background stuff of her, which is fair enough. But it's just one of those things where they've added it on to season 2, but it's just, yeah. So next one we have Hawkeye. It definitely could have been better. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Hawkeye. It was it gave the character good development for the character, and it set up obviously Kate Bishop, and I'm not really looking forward to Echo, if I'm honest. And it gave us more Yelena, and I'm gonna put higher than What If I'm honest. There's some bits where I'm like, what year is this taking place? So like the whole timeline of Phase 4 is kind of muddled up, and I think they need to address it. And I think Hawkeye kind of suffers from it, because we've got No Way Home, which ends at Christmas time, and this happens at Christmas time, and people argue about like, oh, but if Spider-Man was there, he could have helped him in, because he lives near the ice rink. I can't remember, Rockefeller. I can't remember what it's called, but there, like the action scenes with Kate Bishop and Hawkeye when they were shooting arrows in the bridge was pretty good. I'm honestly very tempted to put it on low, pretty good. I might actually I'm gonna move it up to low, pretty good, but it's gonna be the bottom of pretty good. So yeah, next we've got Black Widow. I didn't watch it. It was one of those things where it should have come out before her death. It didn't really interest me. It should have come out in between Infinity War and Endgame, if that makes sense. So that would have made me go like, oh shit, I kind of want to go watch this. But knowing that well, she's dead, and it leads, I heard there was no new character development, if that makes sense, and what they did with Taskmasker was not that good apparently, where they're only in it for like 10 minutes, something like that. Obviously Taskmasker is coming back for Thunderbolts, and I can't remember which other character in it is as well. I think Yelena and the dad. I can't remember the dad's name, but I just didn't watch it. It didn't interest me when it came out. I don't really want to watch it because I watch Hawkeye and it develops Yelena for me more. I know obviously that I know the basic storyline of it, and it's just, yeah, fair enough. Okay, cool. So next we have Shang-Chi. I'm gonna put it up in the best of the best of this, because honestly the choreographed fight scenes, very good. Honestly, it felt, well, I think the stunt coordinators were talking about like, oh, we took inspirations from Jackie Chan films and all that, and it felt like that. And honestly, it showed the art of it, and it felt very good. It was a nice installment into the MCU. It was a good way to introduce the character. And it connected to Iron Man 1 with the 10 rings. But honestly, I really love the action sequence in these films, in this film, and the bus scene was the best, one of the best action scenes in the MCU so far. Obviously, you've got Winter Soldier and all that, but for martial arts, I think that's the best fight scene. Okay, so we've got Wakanda Forever. I don't know how I feel about this film. It was a brilliant tribute to Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa and all that, and I was very excited for this film only to see what they would do with the character, and I felt that was wrong of me to be excited for, if that makes sense. It didn't have the hype that it should have had. So it had the artificial hype of like, what they're gonna do with this character. I wasn't excited for this film. I thought the first one was better, personally, but I'm not saying it's a bad film. It was good. It's a good film. It was a good concept. It introduced a couple of characters in an interesting way of bringing moving forward in the MCU. But I'm gonna have to put it at the bottom of pretty good. I think better than Hawkeye. The talking scenes were a little bit too slow, like at the beginning, but after the memorial and stuff like that, honestly, the only reason why could be better is certain characters it introduces. Okay, next we have Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. I think it could have been better. Don't get me wrong, Sam Raimi is a brilliant director, and it had the horror elements of Sam Raimi just sprinkled in, and I fucking love that bit. I love it as it is a Sam Raimi movie, if I'm honest. Just like how Thor Ragnarok was a Taika Waititi film. It was a comedy first, and it could have been scarier, a lot scarier, if I'm honest. Obviously Marvel didn't want to do that because it needs to be kid friendly. The 180 on Scarlet Witch's character, which kind of is set up at the end of WandaVision, which we'll get to when we get to it, was kind of weird. The way they figured out that it was her, she was the bad guy, was like, obviously she didn't realize he didn't tell her the name of America Chavez, and it was just like, I don't know. It was good. Like, I enjoyed it, but there was some elements that could have been better. Like the Illuminati scene was brilliant, but that was just like, here's a sprinkling of what we did in No Way Home. for 5 minutes, move on. It wasn't as good. If this came out before Spider-Man, I would have put it pretty good, but because we had No Way Home come out first and then this, which I think they originally Doctor Strange 2 was meant to come out first, but they switched it around. I don't know why. I didn't get into that much. I didn't look it up, but there's a reasoning, I believe. But it suffers from that, if I'm honest. I think if this came out before Spider-Man No Way Home, it would have been pretty good. So now we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was alright. Honestly, it could have been better. I put it at the top of could have been better. The idea of it, of like racial subjects that they were talking about, was honestly really good. I loved that part. The bad guy of, I can't remember her name. The show seemed like it was trying to make us root for her at the end when she literally was a terrorist killer, if I'm honest. And it's just one of those things where it felt very mixed messagey sort of thing. But yeah, it was just one of those things where it's like, I loved it, but I wouldn't rush back to watch it. It's not nothing new, if that makes sense. It was very obviously Winter Soldier feely, if that makes sense. And I liked the new suit at the end, really loved it. It was comic book accurate and stuff like that. Dealing with the trauma, Bucky's trauma, was pretty good. I liked the chemistry between Anthony Mackie and Sebastian. They're really good. They've got really good chemistry. I really like that. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. It tried to hit a message, and I don't think it hit the mark at certain points. But I really enjoyed the fact that they were tackling those subjects, and I'm glad they did it. And the only thing I probably would change is have maybe, what is his name? The evil Captain America. Not evil Captain America. He's the replacement of Captain America. But yeah, I'd have him as more than the main bad guy, if that makes sense. That would have been interesting to see him as like the head of that corporation. But we move on. For Love and Thunder, I enjoyed it when I first watched it. I rewatched it, and it wasn't as good the first time, but obviously I knew the jokes and all that. I'm gonna put it at the top of pretty good. No, the bottom of pretty good. Sorry. And the reason I'm putting it at the bottom pretty good was it wasn't as good as Ragnarok, if I'm honest. There was certain marks that it missed. I liked Jane Foster in it. I think her character, when she was trying to be funny, I think the awkward funniness was quite good for her character. Christian Bale as the bad guy was really good. I think the best part of the film. He sold it, and he was there. He did not phone it in. What else? I think Zeus in the film was pretty good. There was an alternate scene that they did, which would have been pretty interesting to see. I think. Okay, I'm gonna move it down. I've just realized I'm gonna move it down to the top of could be better, because it was promised. We were promised the gayest Marvel film that they've done. It was about Valkyrie finding her queen. I think they didn't deliver, so that's why it's gonna be could be better. It could have been gayer, as Taika Waititi promised us. Okay, we move on to Moon Knight. I really liked it. It was the Star episodes where he blacking out and you were like so confused on what the hell was happening. You got Miles Steve at the beginning. Obviously there was a little bit of an episode, a blip that Jake came out and killed everyone. That was an interesting thing, and if you knew the comic books, you would know that was Jake. But for the just the standard viewer, for the person who just watches it on Disney Plus, getting into it, it was a good twist at the end. I thought I really enjoyed it. It didn't get boring. It wasn't. There was a couple of bits where I was just like, okay, cool. Get to the next bit. But honestly, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of. Well, I'm gonna put the start of pretty good. It was pretty good. I like the fact that it's a solo thing as well. It didn't connect to anything else. It was honestly pretty good. The Oscar Isaac's accent, the British accent, was a bit. I don't know about that. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Actually, do you know what? I'll put it up as the best of the best, one of the best of the best, but you'll be at the bottom, I think. Okay, so we move on to Werewolf by Night. I fucking love this. I love horror films. I love the fact that the MCU has adapted this into a horror film. I love the fact that it was black and white. I love the fact that the one-shot take was so graphic-ish-y as much as they could. Obviously, because it being black and white, you could show a little bit more blood and stuff like that. It's one of those rules of television and film and whatever. I'm gonna put it at the top of pretty good. I would, if you love horror films and if you like the classic sort of horror film-ish thing, I recommend this project, and I can't wait to see more installments of this type of thing. And I really love I really liked it. That's all I can say. I don't really want to spoil it because it's only come out recently, sort of thing. So we move on to Miss Marvel. I honestly enjoyed it. I've spoken to a couple of people about it and they didn't enjoy it as much, but I think Miss Marvel's like one of my favorite, is one of two of my favorite Ultimate characters, and this project was, I think, spot on for the character. It showed that she was a super fan of the Avengers, obviously a fan of Captain Marvel, and I think showing her heritage as well in the project was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing her heritage of like being a Muslim and stuff like that. I enjoyed it. There was bits where I'm like, oh, that's a bit slow. There were certain CGI things where I'm just like, oh, did not look good. It was like where she was in, I think, Pakistan, and she was at a party and the car pulled up. That pulled me out. There was the in spoilers, death scene of like the mom, I believe, the evil person's mom, where they turned into a skeleton. It was like very PS2-y. I'm gonna have to put this above Hawkeye, and pretty good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I think because it was a TV show, I enjoyed it more. If it was a film, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. We move on to my favorite project, I believe, and we know where this is going. This is going the top of the best of the best. This film, Jesus Christ, I went opening day for this, and the cheers I heard when certain people jumped out. Spoilers, fuck it, I don't care. When Tobey Maguire jumped out, when Andrew Garfield jumped out, screams, fam. The screams, the shout, the cheers, it was absolute goosebumps, fam. Goosebumps. Honestly, it was really good. And the fact that it's a soft reboot of it leads to a soft reboot of the whole series is not that bad, if I'm honest. I kind of can't wait to see what they do with him in, it's college they're gonna do the next trilogy, I believe, if the rumors are right. And I hope that they bring in Felicia Hardy, Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock. I can't wait to see what they do with Venom, like the symbiote that was left in the universe. I can't wait to see if they bring Harry Osborn in. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what they do with characters. Spider-Man is my #1 favorite character of like all time, and to see the nostalgia of like the old villains coming in and just making their own, and it's just honestly brilliant. I fucking loved it. It was 10 out of 10. Well, 9 out of 10, I'd say. Nothing's perfect, but it is what it is. Honestly, best film of Phase 4. I could rewatch it all the time. Okay, so we move on to Loki. This is where the multiverse starts, I think. And story-wise, it was pretty good. I liked how it quickly jumped the development of what we had with our Loki, because it was a different Loki. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I think it was better than pretty good, if I'm honest. I think it's one of the best series they had of like 2020. In fact, Phase 4, if I'm honest. I'm gonna put it second, I think. I'm gonna put it second in the best of the best. It was a good way to set up Kang as well. which is going to be the next big bad. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't find any filler episodes or anything like that. The whole variant thing was pretty good. I liked the different variants. I liked the set action pieces and stuff like that, and I like the twists and turns and all that. So I'm gonna put it second. Okay, so the final project we're gonna talk about is WandaVision, the thing that basically kicked off Phase 4, and the thing that did things differently at the beginning, where it was a different style of television, and it moved up from each decade, each episode, and I really enjoyed that. It was basically like a what's it called? Psychoanalysis of her mind and why, and the breakdown and stuff like that, and what we were very curious in what was happening basically, and it was pretty good. It set up a few future projects obviously at the end. Character development was is spoiled by Doctor Strange 2, because obviously she's obviously dealing with trauma, and then she becomes like a good guy towards the end, where she obviously fights Agatha. Obviously Agatha's character was pretty good, but it does get spoiled by Doctor Strange 2, and I think that's why it's going to go about under Miss Marvel. I think that's where it belongs, just because as a series on its own, I think it's really good. I think it's pretty good, like top of pretty good, but because of Doctor Strange 2, it kind of feels like the character development got ruined by that. But it's not Doctor Strange 2's fault, it's just the way that Marvel Universe is going at the end of the day. It's one of those things in it. I think this list is pretty good. I think I could change a few things looking at it now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with my gut reaction, and I like it. I like this list. All right, so let me know what you thought of the list. Would you change anything? What would you put in different categories? What did you think? Is the list fucked? I don't think the list is fucked. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for watching this video. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and all that goodness. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and TikTok, TikTok and Twitch. All the links are down in the description below. Thank you very much, everyone. My name is BiggiePopz. It's been a pleasure making this list for you, and I hope to see everyone in the next video. Bye.